Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a seriously fascinating piece of analog history today. We are exploring a meticulously maintained online archive dedicated to what is arguably one of the most iconic pieces of photography gear ever made, the Kodak Brownie camera. This site, known as the Brownie Camera page, is a massive labor of love run by Chuck Baker. It's basically a digital museum, a hands-on survival guide, and a global clubhouse for vintage tech enthusiasts all rolled into one. Look at that number, 124. That represents the staggering 124 years of Kodak Brownie camera history covered in this archive, stretching from the year 1900 all the way to 2024. Just wrap your head around how much the world has completely transformed since 1900. And yet, this simple, incredibly accessible little box somehow captured the human experience through more than a century of wild global shifts. But contrast those 124 years with this number, 30. That is how many years, from 1994 to 2024, the Brownie camera page has been actively maintained online. I mean, in internet years, 1994 is literally the Stone Age. The fact that Chuck Baker has been carefully curating, updating, and preserving this digital catalog for 3 straight decades is an absolute testament to the sheer dedication of the vintage photography community. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our sitemap for exploring this vintage niche today. First, 124 years of Brownie. Second, the massive camera catalog. Third, keeping vintage tech alive. And finally, the global Brownie community.
Section 1. 124 years of Brownie. Origins to present.
So, the Brownie didn't just pop out of thin air to become a cultural phenomenon. Its roots actually tie back to an 1892 article in the Ladies' Home Journal by Palmer Cox. Then, right at the turn of the century in 1900, the very first Brownie camera dropped, completely democratizing photography for everyday folks. But check this out. The absolute marketing genius happened in 1930. To celebrate Kodak's 50th anniversary, they released the Eastman Anniversary Camera and literally just handed them out for free to 12-year-olds. Just imagine the brilliant foresight there. You put a camera in the hands of an entire generation of kids, and boom, you've instantly minted lifelong photographers and die-hard brand loyalists.
Section 2. The Massive Camera Catalog. A model for everyone.
Now prepare yourselves, because this is barely scratching the surface of just the box cameras. We've got the first Brownie, the Baby Brownie New York World's Fair Edition, the Boy Scout Brownie, the Fiesta, the Flashmite 20, the legendary Hawkeye, the Starmatic, the Target 620, the No 2 Beau Brownie, the 616. Okay, I am literally running out of breath here, and that is just a tiny fraction of what they produced. They essentially built a camera for every single demographic, event, and price point you could possibly imagine.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how ubiquitous this tech really was. I mean, look at the 620 variations alone. You got the UK model, the Junior Portrait model, Model C, the Flash. Honestly, if we sat here and read the entire list from the archive, it would take us hours. The Brownie was way more than a product line. It was a massive global manufacturing empire that completely embedded itself into daily life all over the world. And right when you think you've seen it all with that classic box shape, the archives totally flips the script. The massive catalog extends far beyond that into a whole separate world of Brownie folding cameras. We're talking the Pliant 616, the Autographics, and get this, even stereo Brownies designed to capture 3D-style images. The sheer variety here really proves just how much crazy innovation Kodak was packing into consumer-level gear. Section 3. Keeping vintage tech alive. DIY vintage mechanics. So actually keeping these century-old devices clicking today requires some real DIY skills, and this is exactly where the Brownie camera page shines as an active resource. You aren't just scrolling through old pictures, you're actually learning how to be a vintage camera mechanic. The archive is loaded with tutorials. There's a great one by Charles Clemens, wonderfully titled, "Here's Soap in Your Hawkeye," all about cleaning old lenses. Chuck Baker himself provides video tutorials showing you how to respool modern 120 film onto vintage 620 spools so you can actually go out and shoot with them. And of course, there are guides to help you figure out the exact manufacture date of that random camera you scored at a garage sale. So the crucial point is this: the archive isn't some dusty, stagnant museum. It acts as a modern-day survival guide for analog photographers. It tells you exactly where to buy film and where to get it processed right now. It helps you track down rare flash bulbs, weird vintage-sized batteries, and empty film spools. Best of all, it offers completely free, downloadable instruction manuals for all these classic cameras. It literally removes every barrier to entry if you want to get your hands dirty with 20th century photography.
Section 4. The global Brownie community.
Let's move to and see how this builds into bridging the past and present.
The archive does such an amazing job of bridging that gap between history and today. On one hand, you get to explore these incredible historical galleries, like these absolutely stunning 1937 Yosemite photos taken by Bud Collins on his Eastman anniversary camera. But then, right alongside that, you have the modern Flickr Brownie Gallery. It's totally free to join, and modern enthusiasts are constantly auto-uploading fresh, brand-new images shot on these 100-year-old cameras. It's a beautiful contrast that really highlights the absolute timelessness of this hobby.
And right at the core of all this is a very warm, human-centric heartbeat. When you visit the site, you see this welcome message, dedicated to Brownie photographers everywhere, past, present, and future. This labor of love is maintained by Chuck Baker. It's so refreshing, isn't it? It's not a faceless corporate repository, it is a passionately curated space built by a superfan entirely for the fans.
And that dedication actively unites people across the globe who see the world through a totally different lens. Through the archive, you can find out about community events like the International Brownie Camera Days, which happen every single February. You can dive into the Brownie Camera Guy's blog for all kinds of rants and how-tos, check out resources for the alternative photographer, or even leave a note in a good old-fashioned website guestbook. It is a genuine, thriving community hub.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I've got to ask, do you have a piece of 124-year-old history sitting up in your attic right now? Maybe tucked away in a grandparent's closet, just waiting to be rediscovered? After seeing the massive catalog, the vibrant community, and those incredibly detailed survival guides over on the Brownie Camera page, there is absolutely no reason that old box camera shouldn't see the light of day once again. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to explore the Kodak Brownie archive. Stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next one.